So before we do jump on into this video, I have got you many tips to make you as many coins as possible in FIFA 22. If you guys are wanting to build a better team like this, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, then look no further than u7buy.com. They sell cheap and reliable FUT 22 coins, and they also sell FUT accounts this year. So if you're interested, click the link in the top line of the description and use code MUZZ for 5% off at checkout. Yes lads, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we have got some trading advice slash FUTBin advice, a bit of everything, just to make you as many coins as possible going into FIFA 22. I am going to be doing a lot of this content throughout FIFA 22, sniping filters, whether it's bidding, whether it's just when to buy a player or something like that. So if you'd like tips on that, drop a sub, I'd appreciate that. I'm going to be bringing it very often. So let's jump into the first advice. This is going to be an absolute gold mine. So what you want to do, jump over to FUTBin. If you've never used FUTBin before, it's very easy to use. I'll leave a link down below, but most of you should be using it. So at the top, we're going to hover over this icon, the SBC icon. Just click it. Happy days. This is currently the FUT 21 SBCs we've got to click. And then this section, so if we go to foundation, so when FIFA 22 does come out, this is where a lot of coins are going to be made. So the reason you're going to click on that tab is because you want to have a look at the new advanced SBCs. If you don't know what advanced SBCs are, these are some of the most profitable SBCs to trade off of. So what you want to do is click on each one, so whichever one first. We'll go League of Nations Hybrid, for example. When these do drop on FIFA 22, usually check for the top ones. So if you want to go PS4 prices, whatever console you're on. So people usually use the solutions of the top few. So usually they'll just click the top one thinking it's the cheapest one because that's what it says on FUTBin. But usually the top one actually is one of the most expensive ones. So for example, when you do load one of the solutions in, I've clicked one of the top links. So this is going to be used quite often. You can use this little icon here to check the prices that they're currently priced at. So as you can see, some of the non-rares, you've got this right back who's like 2,000 coins on PC, 1.7 on Xbox. You got Ben Foster in goal, 1.5k. You got the left mid that's about 1.8k. So usually early doors, especially if you bid, not many people are bidding, so you can bid on them. You can actually double your coins quite easily. You could pick up this Cucurella quite easily for like 700-800 coins, sell him on for 1.8k, so you can more than double your coins on that one. This method especially works by far best with like silvers, so rarer cards, and also just randomly like fullbacks and stuff like that. That's why it's best to check the top one and just check all their prices, because you might get a random like Portuguese fullback or something like that, non-rare. It's usually like the non-rare golds or the silvers that are going for an absolute ton, and what you want to basically do is just bid on them. And it's the ones like these that have a lot of bronzes, a lot of silvers. These are going to fluctuate quite a lot, especially when they're popular and a lot of people are trying to complete them. These silvers and bronzes are great to bid on because obviously they're going to go up in price, down in price, because they're very rare to get. Occasionally there might be 2, 3, 4, 5k, especially at the start of a FIFA when everyone's trying to complete it. Right now it's not the easiest to explain because we're at the end of FIFA 21. I'm using FIFA 21 examples. So most of these silvers, a lot of them are on the game still, but for example, this guy's 1.7k, the striker. On a bid, early on in FIFA, you can very easily get these on bid for like 200, 300 coins. And making like 1,000 coins profit early on in FIFA is huge. That can be like one of your starter players straight away. So this is a really, really good method. And it's an absolute gold mine. So keep a lookout, bid on silver, non-rare golds. Just have a look for all their prices. Keep an eye on the fluctuations of each of the players. And you can make a lot of coins. Okay, next tip, we have got a huge tip, and this is probably one of the best tips for making coins. You've got to be smart with it. You've got to learn how to use FUTBin graphs as well. So I want to quickly show you briefly like how FUTBin graphs work, how you can like look at each graph and compare them to previous FIFAs. So one thing I'm going to show you real quick, so a lot of this is going to be on FUTBin, so once again head over to FUTBin. We are going to hover over the players tab, and this is quite a new tab. It was added last year. It's the popular tab. So if you click the popular tab, this basically shows you, believe it or not, all the popular players on FUTBin currently. So these are the most searched players on FUTBin. So this shows us what players are in demand, who are the popular players right now, who are people looking to buy and play, stuff like that. So you're going to probably see a lot of Varans, for example, if they have the coins. Llorente is going to be a definite popular player. Usually you can roughly gist who the popular players are going to be, if they're fast, if they're meta, if they've got really good agility and balance. Like, you know, the meta players, 5-star skills, look out for that. But the popular tab, it's a good way of just checking what people are looking at, like Dries Mertens might go under the curtain a little bit. So once you've identified a few players you want to look at, you can just pick any random players you think might be very high in demand, very popular for weekend league teams. For the first weekend league especially, so this is where it's huge. So if you're getting the game early, especially on the 22nd of September, if the earlier you buy these meta cards, usually they do go up in price quite a bit. So for example, we have got this Eder Militao from last FIFA. So this is where you can compare the FIFA 21 versions to the FIFA 22. You can get a rough gist of how they are going to work in terms of price. So if we get this Militao, a very meta card last year, was used by a lot of people. I think he was extinct for the first week or so. So we're going to show you the graphs. If you scroll down, you get the graph down here. Obviously, the further back, September the 30th was when the full game was released. He was extinct there, extinct on October the 1st as well. When he finally got, I think his price range got increased or something like that. But he's about 20k, 12k on PlayStation. And as you can see, the peak, he does end up peaking at around 30, 35k on Xbox. But running about 30k on all platforms. So started at around 12, 15. You could have probably got him for a bit less if you bidded or sniped. And he did end up doubling in price up to 30k. And I'm guessing this is where the first weekend league is. So the first weekend league has a huge effect on prices, especially for the meta players. That's where that popular tab comes in very, very handy. I've got quite a few examples of this. We've got Ferland Mendy, who, as you can see again, the rise of him. So he starts off at like 70k-ish. So the earlier you can get these players, the better really. And they will end up rising. He rose to about 140k on Xbox and PlayStation. Started at 70, so again doubling, literally doubled in price. You got Fred, Premier League players especially, they usually do really well because it's a really popular league. Obviously, Fred, I think he started extinct as well, and then he eventually had his price range increased. Started at 15k, and I believe he doubled as well. Near enough, yeah, he doubled to 30k. Actually 40k on PlayStation, which is crazy. So some things to keep in mind. Obviously, other meta, other high in demand leagues, nations, if they're easy to link, usually they're very, very popular. Fred's very easy to link, being Premier League and Brazilian. That's why he ended up doing really well. And then last example, we'll give Gabriel Jesus as well. Premier League Brazilian. There were a lot of strikers as well from the Premier League last year, especially that were amazing. So Jesus was definitely a popular card. A lot of people did end up wanting him for their weekend league teams. And even like started at 50, he went up to about 70 or 80, so he went up 20k. So it's not as big of a rise as the others, but you guys can see the constant pattern. It was around a week or two into the game when weekend league teams were being built. That's when their price went up. So look for the high demand players. And if you're always unsure, you can always, like I've done, go to the previous FIFA cards and just have a look how they've done. And then on to the final tip I'm going to give you for this video. We have got, this once again requires you looking on FUTBIN, on FIFA. Just use your brain. You're going to look at, especially the top 5 leagues, look for positions that don't have a great depth in players. So for example, La Liga in FIFA 22, in my opinion, there's not a lot of good right backs from La Liga, and this guy looks very good for a starter team. Got great links as well, so if they've got great links as well, that's going to be huge. So Montiel does link to Diego Carlos. He actually strong links to Diego Carlos. Links to a lot of good La Liga centre backs. Links to obviously Marcos Llorente. So he's got some good links. There's not a lot of good La Liga right backs. He's got pace, solid physicals. So I think this guy could be used by quite a lot of people. Picking this guy up early, getting him on a bid, sniping him as early as possible, and then keeping hold of him for a little. And then when he eventually rises, obviously sell him on, and you could end up doubling your coins. This is a guy that could make you a lot of coins. Another option in my opinion, Mbabu, strong links to some incredible players. The Bundesliga is going to be used a lot in starter teams. Some of the centre backs, Lacroix, he does strong link to Lacroix, probably the most in demand, hyped up centre back. So that strong link alone is going to push Mbabu's price up. You've got Akanji who looks incredible, Klosterman. So Mbabu's price is definitely going to fluctuate. And players that fluctuate, you want to keep an eye on massively. Because obviously one day they could be worth 7k, one day they could be worth 10. So keep an eye on players like that. And Mbabu probably will be one of them. So keep an eye. Check your FUTBIN graphs. Always check your FUTBIN graphs. And keep an eye on that. And yeah, I've gave you them two as an example, but I'm sure there's many more. I actually can't give you loads of examples because one, I haven't checked, and two, when I'm recording this, we actually don't have the full database. We've only got the top 1,000 players So we've only got up until like 77 rated or something like that. So I can't look at all the ratings. But usually you can quite easily identify if there's only like 3 good left wings or something like that, and one of them's got a better nation or a better link. Usually they're going to fluctuate a bit more and be more in demand. So hopefully you understand what I mean by that. If you are a little bit confused on some of the advice I give, because I feel like sometimes I give really like I understand it in my brain, but I feel like when I'm trying to speak it out, it's a bit harder to give it as advice. But if it doesn't make sense, just ask me in the comments and I'll try and explain it better in actual text form. So if you do enjoy, boys, please do drop a like. I'd appreciate that. I do want to bring much more content like this, like I have said early on in this video. And hopefully we can all sit there with 1 million coin teams going into our first weekend league team. So yeah, boys, I'll catch you guys in the next one.